はい、皆さんおはようございます。かずえです。お元気ですか？はい、今日はですね、11日ですね。It's July 11? はい。今日の天気はね、曇りです。Today's weather is cloudy. でもちょっと暑い。It's about 27 degrees Celsius. でも It's humid. はい。はい。皆さんのとこはどうですか？はい。見てたらよかったらコメントくださいね。If you are watching, please give me comments. はい。今日はちょっとグリーンスクリーンでちょっとやってるので、ね、綺麗な日本庭園が、Beautiful Japanese Garden in my background なんか変かな ?Is this strange? はい。見てたらコメントくださいね。If you are watching, please give me comments. ありがとうございます。Thank you. はい。おはようございます。クリスさん。はい。ありがとう。今日はね、今日は日本語のレッスンじゃなくて、Today is not the Japanese lessons. And it's about the topic is Japanese religions. はい。まあ、いろんな、ことがあったので、このね、この past few days we had kind of a lot of things happened in Japan, so we're gonna share about it. はい。皆さん、デビッドさん、はい、おはようございます。はい。ジョセフさん、ありがとうございます。あれ ?Facebook 入ってないかな？ Facebook 見てる人いるかな？いるよね。はい。OK、OK。はい。ピーターソンさん、いつもありがとうございます。はい。あれ、みんな YouTube だな。Facebook の人いないかな？来てるかな？はい。はい。元気です。ありがとうございます。コメントとかね、皆さんのコメントシェアできるのでね。はい。よかったら、コメントくださいね。はい。If you like, please give me comment. はい。ということで、今日のトピックは Japanese Religion 2ということで、actually, I talked about the religion like 6 months ago. 今回はパート2ということで、なんでこの話をするかというとですね、はい、スライド。まあ、皆さんご存知の通り、our former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe passed away due to the gunshot, and which is closely related to the some kind of newly risen religion. So we're gonna talk about it. はい。よかったよかった。Facebook からね。はい、ありがとうございます。ということで、ちょっとリリジョンというトピック。it's quite sensitive and it's quite, people think that talking about religion and politics is taboo. But we have the freedom of speech, and I think you are quite interested in about it. So I was also very, very curious about the religion. Okay, I'll tell you this topic, today's talk is not related to supporting one particular religion or kind of accusing one particular religion. It's not like that. I'm just talking about from curiosity and from the research. ね、ということで、hope you understand. Okay, so the reason why I was curious about religion is I think I mentioned in the previously last time I talked about the religions. ね、なんですけれども、これはいいや。はい。the last time what I talked about was this one. はい。last year December, religions, ちょっと待ってね。Hi. So you know that most of Japanese thinks that we are non-religious. Probably you surprised. はい。なんだろうな。We don't learn. We don't learn about the Japanese the religions, and we have the religion and the politics are separate. 信教、政教分離っていうんですけれども、はい、we call it 政教分離, the separate religion and the politics, and so we have the right to believe anything, ね、or not believe anything. not, ね、なので、and also in our school, we don't teach the family, most of the Japanese family don't teach anything. もちろんあるよ、もちろん。So you think that there are so many shrines and the temples, and then what you are talking about? なんですが、if you want to know, please watch my previous video, but I just summarize it. The reason why we think that we are non-religious is we don't learn anything about the school or the home at in this time and in the modern days. The reason is quite complicated. We had the shrine, the Shintoism from long time ago, long from the ancient time, which is kind of animism that we believe some enormous powers in the nature. So, God must be here in the rocks, mountain, natures, everywhere. It could be one particular person, ね、one nobleman. はい、なんですが、で、but it's quite not organized until the Buddhists came to Japan. ね、Buddhism came from India via China, and it was very organized when it arrived to Japan. So they have the kind of organized thought and why we are born and where we go after this and stuff. And also they have the houses like temple gate and temple buildings house. So we learned it. So Shinto also built their gate, the Torii gate, also the shrine house, and organized the system, making the Kojiki, the old story about Japanese mythology. So they kind of organized by learning the Buddhism, and it was same. It was mixed together. So Shinfutsu Shugo, they are together. The temple is shrine. Shrine was temple. It's something like that. So, but it was separate during the Meiji era. Also, tried to Shintoism was used to unite the people and work for all the Japanese nation work for the war, ね、World War, the time, ね、World War II ね。はい。なので、actually Shinto was separated from the Buddhism and they try to use that way wrongly, So you try to unite the Japanese nation. And then that time used the Japanese mythology was used to for the war. So after, Japan was defeated by the war, we realized that, um, what is the God and stuff. And then GHQ came from the United States, and then the MacArthur ordered not to teach that the Kojiki, the Japanese mythology, as a fact of the Japanese Genesis. So they stopped it. And that is why we don't learn any religions in Japan. Actually, the time that Makasa tried to import the Christianity in Japan, but it didn't work. And actually, there were some areas that the Christianity was proliferate, such as the Nagasaki and Kagoshima, that area. That time was, it's not from the US, it was from the Portuguese. And the time was even older than the World War II, after the World War II. So, anyway, it's not so many nowadays, but there are still many churches over there. But in Japan, in general, most of us are so-called non-religious. But there's some newly risen religions in Japan. Sometimes that causes trouble. So, which is related to today's topic. はい、ということで、ですね。So, that he was passed away because of the shoot. He was shot by the one person, Yamagami. He said that he had a grudge to the one particular religious group. And actually, he was trying to kill the leader of the religious group, but he thought it was difficult. So he just switched the target to the Shinzo Abe, the former prime minister, which is quite kind of selfish, right? But there's some those people he was very, very devastated, right? But anyways, Shinzo Abe was a great person, and he was the longest serving prime minister in the Japanese history, and 8 years, 8 months, which is quite long. And he was a thoroughbred, in Japanese, thoroughbred. His father was the ex-prime minister. Also, his father was the foreign minister. So,すごい偉大な人でした。He was an enormous, great politician, and we really missed the great person. And what then I really we are so missing something important. ね、今ちょっと日本は混乱してる、ね。はい。ですが、で、その、the reason ですね。reason why that he shot him, as I said, is that he had a grudge towards one particular religion group, and he used also it was shocking that he used his own homemade guns. Okay, so Japan is so-called very safe country, and we are so shocked because of that, because that things happen in Japan. I think everyone's so shocked. I was also shocked when I saw it. Then, and actually he served for Marines, was a Maritime Self-Defense Army for 3 years in the past, so he know how to handle the gun. But gun is not available in Japan usually. Only the Self-Defense Army and the police knows how to handle the gun, or maybe the mafia, very, very underground. But we cannot buy guns, but he made it. And that is also scary that we can learn how to make a gun by internet. 本当に良くないね。ですが、anyway, so he did it, and the reason why he did it was that he had a grudge towards one particular religion. Then we also wondered which one, what, but none of the news the news told that which religions for few days. Then finally yesterday, and also I searched on that. There's one particular religious group which is a Unification Church, and I don't know why all the news try to hide. That is so strange. I think it's many of us think so strange, and I don't think that NHK won't tell it, and they try to hide it. なんだろうね. There's a relation with a particular political group and the religion as well. So anyway, as I said, he was trying to target on the leader of the religious group, but he found it difficult, so he switched the target to the Shinzo Abe, the former prime minister, and he thought that there's a relation between that religious group and the former prime minister, and it was. And so the reason is that his family was devastated. His family was scattered because of the religion, and he thought that his mother was so involved in the particular religions, and his family was so messed up, and so his mother gone to the bankrupt, and so he had a very, very sad history about his family. He thought because of the religion. So, and 何ですかね、これね。どう思いますか? What do you think? So that is so quite sad things. So, as I said, in Japan, we have the Shintoism and the Buddhism. You might think that it's religion, but we don't take it as a religion. It's more like way of life. In the new year, we go to the shrines. And usually shrines are related to something, the celebrations, or something, the new things giving birth. When the child was born, we go to the shrine and say thanks, and also some celebrations conducted in the shrines. Then in the funeral, we call the monks. ね、なので、it's more like a way of life. ね、and but now I realize that there are so many shrines and temples contributed our being good. Let's say, the moral, the keep the high moral and safe country. I really think so. But those Shinto is not so force you to go, force you to follow the system. So which is quite different from the other countries' religion, maybe. I don't know. But in that case, it's not a closed community. It's more like a local community, and everybody watching. But it's not like, or you have to do it, or you have to do that. It's more like, oh, you better do it. Kana, what do you think? If you're watching Japanese watching, please let me know. Tell me. はい。ということで、そうね、今日のトピックはそういうことなんですけど、what I thought is so strange was that most of the news didn't tell about that particular reason. So that's the religion I mentioned, the Unification Church. They're so famous about the what kind of Godo Kekkonshiki is kind of joint wedding. So they force you to marry one particular partners. They decided by the founder. Now is the founder passed away, so it's another who passed. Let's say follows that the church, the let's say religious group, and also that the cult religion, the Unification Church is famous for asking a lot of alms. So many people go bankrupt because of that. Alms. はい、have to pay. So, 何ですかね。はい。OK? そう、コメントありがとうございます。そう、そうね、本当に悲しい出来事。皆さん、そう。サーデイズ。はい。ありがとうございます。ということで、so I was talking about that although we think that, Japanese religions is quite vague, but quite important. And we think that, most of us, we are non-religious, but, so-called Shintoism is a way of life. ね。はい。And also Buddhism has an important role to being the nice, and the monks give us the preaches, also tell some, guide us a direction if you're lost. So really, we appreciate it. But if you think that, compared to the other countries' so-called religions, we feel that little bit different. But having said that, there are about 180,000 corporate religions in Japan, including the 85,000 shrines and 77,000 about temples. So there are many kind of small so-called cult religion, but newly risen religions. Not only this Unification Church, but also many others. And some become political parties and try to apply as the cabinet members. Quite unique and strange, but ね、どうなんですかねということで、I just want to know what do you think about the Japanese religions, and also what do you think about the small religions, newly born religion, newly risen religions, etc. はい。I just want to know and just want to inform that there are some news site don't tell the fact. And it's because it's already 3 years, 3 days after the incident, and many facts are revealed, and some small news are mentioned about that religious group, and etc. And and that unification church, not only the Shinzo Abe, former minister, and his grandfather were also involved. That is, which is very famous story of the fact, and also so does the Donald Trump. So it's quite strange, you know. He contributed so many things to Japan. I really, really appreciate it, and we really um, respect でも、なんか、いろいろあるよね。うん。And so many things happening. So we are all confused about it as well. ということで、はい、it was shocking. Okay, so today's topic is about that. I just want to inform you the story behind his death. This one religious group was related, and of course, the killing person is so it's un なんだろう、許されない。is we cannot なんだろう。We shouldn't not approve. What to say? I cannot come up with the good word. Admit. We shouldn't admit such a violence. でも、なんだろう。It's the politics and the religion. It's taboo about the talking, but we have the freedom of speech, and some media wants to hide it, but this is a fact about it. なんだろうね。ごめんね、today's session. I want to inform about the fact about the Japan. ということで、はい。So there's actually as I said in the initial of this session, the government, politics, and religions are separate separate in Japanese rules. It's defined in our constitutions, but actually it's happening in Japan. So ねえ、ということで、I want to know what do you think? まあもうちょっと難しいかな The topic is. はい、ということで、I will finish. What is religion? Sorry, what is religion? Maybe sorry, but then you may want to check the dictionary. Religion is the belief, right? Belief, and probably you may know that the big one is Christianity and the Buddhism and some なんだろう the Islams. Those are the major ね。あとJewish. Yeah, ユダヤは is kind of it's kind of major one, right? But there are so many small sect, right? So they deviate the original teaches, right? で、なんか so many sect, so many small religions, and religious group, corporate religious group in Japan not asked for the corporate tax. And sometimes they become as business by taking the alms and the free employees, the believers are free employee and used, and that some people go involved in it and they become, crazy. What I say, sometimes their families suffered from it, which is a fact. And not always all the cases. Religion is supposed to, help our souls, right? So sometimes go wrongly and sometimes cause this incident ね。はい。ということで、はい。今日は、ちょっと、宗教のお話でしたが、どうでしたでしょうかね。It's kind of confusing, but just want to know the fact about the Japan. And I thought it was quite interesting to you because I was so curious about it because I didn't grown up as a strong believer of any religions. So, and I spent the more than 10 years in the foreign countries and saw many religious believers and also visited the churches and temples and mosques and some quite interesting small religious groups houses as well. But I'm a quite neutral, or I don't have any involved in any kind of believing communities. So I was so curious. I also took some religious class in the United States. So I was so curious. So that is why I chose the topic, and I thought you were also interested. So, はい。ということで、はい。ありがとうございます。Thank you so much、for joining and、I hope you enjoyed. ということで、また、このトピックですね、chat about Japan. I want to share with you. And if you like, please join. And for the people watching from the YouTube, and please stay tuned for the Japanese lessons, and for the Facebook, please enjoy looking forward my lives from the outside. Next one is the 17th July this month. I will do the live from the Kyoto 祇園祭り。ね、本当にもう皆さん来てほしいですよ、日本に。I want you to come to Japan. ね、なんか、Japan is very, very conservative, and we are really a bit tired about the ちょっと待って、これ、the COVID。ね、これちょっと、it's about ちょっと前のなんですけど、this screenshot is a bit old, 8 days ago、ですが、なんかもう、we are all tired about the COVID news. And we are so behind not opening the country for the tourists. So, 本当に、多分ね、どうなんだろうね。I really, really hope you join and come to Japan. はい、ということで。はい、じゃあもう今日は終わりにしますね。はい、Thank you for joining. また会いましょう。See you again. Bye bye. Have a great day. 良い一日を。暑い。バイバイ。